treat. Here he's here. It's 1988's Kenner Robocop. Right, now then, my Robocop story. I probably saw Robocop back when I was about 10-year-old. And when I say I saw it, basically, my friend's dad at the time was watching Robocop on a pirate copy. And we kind of happened to basically stumble upon him watching it. And watched it from about the time when Robocop's in the car park getting shot by 100 police officers. So I was a bit confused, kind of thinking, hold on, it's called Robocop, and lots of police officers are shooting him. Okay, and then sort of within about 15 minutes, I'm now watching a guy basically melt, which, you know, when you're kind of 10-year-old, does leave a little bit of an impression. So along come this toy line, and I assumed that the toy line was based off the movie, not realising there was a cartoon that came out and it was based off that. So basically went mad to get Robocop figures, and Christmas, I'm assuming around about 88, 89, I got Robocop, his mate Ed 209, and the bad guy with the red trousers, whose name I can't remember, but he was really cool too. And, you know, I didn't expect them to come with a cap gun feature, but they did, and that was all good, I guess. A little bit different at the time. I know other stuff has used this technology, i.e. sort of He-Man figures and stuff like that. But for the whole line to have used it, you know, a bit different. But anyway, that aside, I do remember being incredibly underwhelmed at the time by the figures, because my expectations of Robocop was that it was this massive futuristic film, and then the toys were actually fairly standard, you know what I mean? I got Ed 209 and I kind of expected these to be able to move, and he's this bit to move down and all the rest of it, and obviously that just doesn't happen. So I mean, I've learned to love him, and you know, he is a classic action figure in his own right now. I mean, you know, he's not that easy to come by. So I'm happy to have him. I do have some of the other figures that were in the wave. I don't know many of their names, but when I used to play with them, I used to make this guy a meal, and this one, the guy who gets blown up in the crane. And here is Lewis, who for a long time, because I never had this one, but I always thought on the back of the package that it wasn't the Lewis from the film, but it was just another bloke, because she's not exactly womanly, you know, really. And the kind of metal helmet I didn't understand either, but, you know, like any toys, it's just an action feature-y thing of, well, she can have a robotic head thing if you want her to, with that sort of lesbian haircut going on. So that was them, and like I say, this Robocop, I remember kind of thinking like, oh, I'd love him if his knees bent. That would just be the best thing in the world. If his knees bent, that would be fantastic. And then along comes the sort of TV show, the kind of PG TV show of Robocop, which was, in my eyes, pretty awful like, but we got the action figures for them, and bang! He had a movable knee, but not just that, an elbow as well, and in my eyes, a far superior look. Even the added bonus here feature of, you can see the paint's all scraped off from using it, but he has the sort of Stone Cold Steve Austin there. That's the bottom line, because Robocop said so. Obviously that was like kind of a 1980s version of a USB pen. And the like, not only did he have that, but his helmet was removable and you could put on like a battle damaged helmet, as was his chest plate. Unfortunately, I do have the battle damaged chest plate, but not to hand. But that's what he looks like inside. Wishing I'd used Bill for this video now, it's a bit annoying. Now, this line, the vehicles were interesting, let's say, but I always wanted Robocop's car, you know, like the classic, I believe, is it a Pontiac or something? I'm really rubbish with cars, so I probably got that wrong, but we did get in 1994 this, and if I remember correctly, I'm not sure if this was a charity shop find or I think it might have been a flea market find, but it was like right in the dying days of me flea market escapades and stuff, and I think I picked it up for like 50 pence or something like that. And I mean, it is smashed to bits. I mean, the spoiler's missing, the wind screen, not windscreen, the wing mirrors is missing, and I think there's a swing missing off the top here, and there's a right dink in the window. But I love it, the fact that it just, to me, it's just so nice looking. You know, having Robocop stood half coming out the door, you know, you can kind of reenact that famous cover from the movie. Unfortunately, the only drawback on these ones is that the head doesn't swivel, unlike the original. That's the only thing. And I'll show you inside the cab here, although I don't have very good lighting, unfortunately, so you'll just see lots of blackness. And possibly as you do that, and then somebody kind of come and off the windscreen. That's what Robocop would say when he's running somebody over. So there you go, that is that, and the other figure that I've got from the TV live action show is Commander Cash, who is an absolutely, well, I'm not going to say awful action figure, but he's not a great action figure. Although when I first saw him, I kind of thought, I'm going to have to pick him up. But the thing is, like, he's got like these tiny little hands and stuff, which can't do anything apart from pick up barbells, I guess. And he's got the most atrocious looking pecs I've ever seen on an action figure in my life. I mean, when you turn them sideways, they are quite literally just boobs. Which is, you know, they're not the best. Like, and again, his head doesn't turn, and he has this weird hair quiff thing, and there's all sorts of noises going off here. This is, you know, this is professional, isn't it? Yes. But the one thing I did want to show in this video was the comparison of Rexar next to Ed, as they kind of do have lots of similarities and some differences. And you can see Rexar is quite a lot bigger, but stood next to each other, you can see they are kind of in the evolution of that. And there you go, happy days. I do have the Robo Jailer and the other original car, and possibly a couple more figures, but I am currently having a bit of a go through, find out, see through stuff. So when I kind of put all them together, I'll either do another video with everything in, or I'll just show the additional stuff. So thanks for watching that, and I'll catch us all later on.